Outrage is sweeping the nation after Labour MPs voted down a proposal for a national inquiry into the grooming gang scandal. The amendment, introduced by Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch, sought to uncover the full truth behind these horrific crimes and deliver long-overdue justice to the victims. But Labour's decision to block the inquiry has triggered a fierce backlash, with accusations of betrayal, cowardice, and even a cover-up flying thick and fast. The debate in Parliament was explosive, with Keir Starmer defending Labour's move and Chris Philp leading a fiery charge against it. Now, let's take a look at the moment MPs rejected the amendment in this crucial vote.
Ayes to the right, 111. The noes to the left, 364.
The ayes to the right were 111, the noes to the left 364. So the noes have it, the noes have it. Unlock. The question is that the bill be now read a second time. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Aye. Of the contrary, no. No! Division.
The vote could not have been clearer. 364 MPs rejected the proposal, with only 111 in favour. Astonishingly, not a single Labour MP voted to support the amendment. For many, this was not just a parliamentary decision, but a defining moment in the fight for justice for thousands of vulnerable victims. Shadow Home Secretary Chris Philp delivered a scathing critique of Labour's actions, branding them disgusting and accusing the party of prioritising political convenience over morality. This vote was an act of cowardice, Philp said in an impassioned speech. Labour MPs have chosen to turn a blind eye to victims and to protect their party rather than the most vulnerable in our society. At the centre of Labour's defence was Keir Starmer, who argued that another inquiry would only delay necessary action. Starmer pointed to the findings of a 7-year investigation published in 2022, which he claimed still had recommendations awaiting implementation. Victims and survivors have been clear with me. They want action now, not another inquiry that takes years and distracts from progress, he declared. Starmer's stance, however, did little to placate his critics, who see the rejection as a deliberate attempt to avoid confronting hard truths. Kemi Badenoch fired back in Parliament with unflinching criticism. This government has supported 9 inquiries during the last Parliament alone, she said. What makes this one so different that Labour feels the need to block it? What are they trying to hide? Badenoch's remarks struck a nerve, drawing cheers from her colleagues and forcing Labour to mount a defence that many found unconvincing. The debate took a personal turn when Starmer accused Badenoch of hypocrisy, claiming that while she held key government roles as Children's Minister and Equalities Minister, she failed to raise concerns about grooming gangs in Parliament. She's jumping on the bandwagon now, Starmer alleged. Badenoch, however, refused to back down, responding with a blistering retort, "Be a leader, not a lawyer." As tensions in Parliament escalated, Chris Philp took the floor to highlight the devastating impact of Labour's decision. His speech, which condemned Labour for failing to prioritise justice, was met with boos and heckles from Labour backbenchers. Recalling the incident during an interview with GB News, Philp said, "It was disgraceful. I stood up for victims who have endured unimaginable suffering, and Labour MPs heckled me for doing so. This is exactly the attitude that allowed these crimes to go unpunished for so long." The fallout has been swift and far-reaching. Nigel Farage was among the first to weigh in, accusing Labour of a cover-up in a scathing post on X. "Labour have just voted against an inquiry. What do they have to hide?" he wrote, summing up the sentiments of many who are questioning Labour's motivations. Survivors and their families are equally outraged, with one advocate calling the vote a betrayal of the highest order. Speaking to GB News, they said, "This is a slap in the face to every victim who trusted the system to do the right thing. Labour has failed us." Adding to the controversy, former Labour MP Simon Danczuk revealed that attempts to suppress dissent within the party are not new. Danczuk pointed to the case of Sarah Champion, who was removed from the Labour front bench after speaking out about grooming gangs. Labour has a history of silencing its own members on this issue, he said. This vote is just the latest chapter in their long-standing refusal to face the truth. Philp went even further, suggesting that Labour's reluctance to support the inquiry may stem from fears that members of their own party could be implicated. There are very uncomfortable truths here that Labour does not want to confront, he said. This is about more than delays or politics. This is about accountability, and Labour is running from it. Badenoch and her supporters have vowed to continue their fight for justice. Speaking after the vote, she declared, "This is not over. The victims deserve answers, and we will not stop until they get them." Badenoch emphasised the importance of a statutory public inquiry with the power to compel witnesses and uncover the full extent of these crimes. Transparency and accountability are non-negotiable, she said. Labour leaders, meanwhile, have doubled down on their defence of the decision. Yvette Cooper, the Home Secretary, praised Jess Phillips, the Minister for Safeguarding, for her dedication to combating sexual violence and abuse. Cooper insisted that the government is working at pace to implement the recommendations of the 2022 investigation and that another inquiry would only slow progress. "No child should ever suffer abuse," Cooper said. "We are taking action now to ensure that doesn't happen." Critics, however, remain unconvinced. Many have pointed to Labour's track record on grooming gangs, which includes accusations of ignoring or downplaying reports in key constituencies. For victims and their families, Labour's vote feels like another betrayal in a long history of systemic failures. The scandal has also reignited a broader conversation about justice and accountability in the UK. While the Conservatives argue that transparency is essential, Labour's decision has raised serious questions about the party's commitment to addressing the root causes of these crimes. Public trust in Parliament is already at a low, and this controversy threatens to erode it further. As the backlash continues, pressure is mounting on Labour to justify their decision. The victims and their families deserve answers, and the British public is demanding accountability. This story is far from over, and the fight for justice is only just beginning. For more updates on this explosive story and the latest political scandals, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and stay tuned. We'll bring you every twist and turn as the truth unfolds. So, here's where we stand. Outrage is sweeping the UK after Labour MPs voted down a proposal for a national inquiry into the grooming gang scandal. The amendment, championed by Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch, aimed to uncover the full truth and deliver justice to victims. Labour's decision has sparked accusations of betrayal and cover-ups, with Chris Philp branding the move cowardice and demanding accountability. Keir Starmer defended the decision, arguing action, not more inquiries, is what victims want. Critics, however, remain unconvinced, alleging Labour is avoiding hard truths and prioritising political convenience over justice. The debate is far from over as pressure mounts for answers.